reconnected. All right, I have not lost my channel, guys. Whoever held out, thank you. For whatever reason, the channel disconnected, and now we've reconnected. So I haven't lost my channel. I'm going to keep on going. Although it sucked because I had a good audience going. All right. So this is when the doubt started happening, and so as I said, October 7th happened, and after October 7th happened, I was done. I saw in the videos the parachuting terrorists, the parachuting motorcycle riding terrorists. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding? There's no way. Gaza is an open air prison. Okay? Gaza is an open air prison. And what makes it a prison are two huge cement walls that are, I believe, 20 to 30 feet tall. Double that completely encircle Gaza and keeps it as a prison with very limited entry and very limited exit, and with nothing. So they do not have the equipment to knock down the cement walls to be able to attack Israel. And to me, right there, October 8th was just, and since then I've been seeing things. And we're going to talk about these things involving Israel that were really intense, and then I kept coming back to this drop. Which was always very strange to me. Always very strange. Which is, we are saving Israel for last. We are saving Israel for last. Very specific reason, not mentioned a single time. And this was right before, not right before, but towards the end of the Q drops. And this was in March 2018. And the years are very important. 2018 is very, very important. And Trump is talking about just the inconsistencies in how prosecutions were being handled. Even as president, he was asked about whatever happened to the Pakistani guy who worked with the DNC. They were part of the people that had the servers. We think were maintaining Hillary's private server, and whatever happened to them, Trump continued, with the two servers that they broke up into 1 million pieces. Whatever happened to him? Which is, they escaped. Nothing ever happened to him. Like nothing ever happens to anybody. So this drop happened, and it was tough to see the relationship between the two. Now that we've been so heavily educated, well then, yeah, we're starting to see it. So this, to me, was an impressive statement. And then as more and more people were coming in, yeah, it was powerful. Now, I told y'all I got super enthusiastic because I saw Q was back, and Q plus, well, not Q is back, but Trump admitting that he is Q plus, and that was great. Something happened that really gave me huge pause to the fact that this Q operation was very powerful and very real. And that was when I live in Spain, and we had something pretty incredible happen a while back. And that was called El Apagón here in Spain, and it's called basically the big turnoff. And that's when Spain lost power for 18 hours. Very few of you people remember it, but I remember it like it was yesterday. It was really a crazy day, but the entire peninsula of Spain, the country of Spain, lost power. And this is just kind of the sequence of events. At 12:33, 33 being the operative time, the operative number, the whole country of Spain lost power. I was out walking around having a grand old time. And I was coming back to do some things, and I stopped by a store to do something. I was like, you guys lost power? You didn't pay the bill? I'm like, no. This is the whole country's like that. I said, what? The whole country? That is impossible. Well, Charles, the impossible is possible because we're listening to the news, and it's the whole country's lost power. I'm a network engineer. I understand how networks work, and I also understand how power and power stations work and distributed power. And I thought, that is impossible, nuts, and insane. I knew I had a limited time of power, and so I went directly home and used my my phone as a hotspot. I got on as much information as I could from the internet and turned my devices off. Sure enough, all of Spain had lost power. And then we do as Spaniards do. We had a great time. All the bars stayed open, and we were just hanging out. Well, bars, they're not bars, it's American style or Western style. They're cafes where we drink wine and coffees and just enjoy the day. That days there were no coffees to be had because we have our coffee espresso style. So we just had wine and beers. The good news is I'm a wine drinker and a red wine drinker, and at room temperature, that's how you want your red wine. So I had a great day. Had a great day. Anybody that didn't have money to pay, the bars just took a note, and like, you know, if we ever have electricity come back, you can come back and pay. If not, we're in a whole new world and we'll figure it out. So that day we didn't panic. That night was glorious and gorgeous. All of us were talking. All the neighbors were neighboring. It was nice. It was really groovy. And then we started to lose internet connection. And I knew why we were doing that. I knew why we were losing internet connection, because our internet was being provided through cell towers. The only way we could connect to the internet was through cell towers. Like I told you a minute ago, I used my cell phone as a hotspot because my router was dead. My Wi-Fi router in the house was dead, so I used my telephone. Well, those started stopping to be usable because the cell towers had run out of diesel to maintain the cell towers. See, this is how it works. Cell towers have backup diesel generators for power outages, and that way they become you know, they still function. They're plugged into all of the back end. All of the back ends have generators. So yeah, Spain proved that whole proof of technology works until the generators run out of gas. And so at some point in time in the evening, we had no internet, nothing, no electricity. Neighbors talking to neighbors. The night was beautiful, clear skies, and we could just see stars like we hadn't seen in ages. There was no interference of light, and it just looked like a different sky. And then my neighbor came out, and he was looking at the sky too, from across the street, and we talked for about an hour and a half, just chatted like we had never chatted before, and laughed and and then it got late. He's like, I gotta go to bed. And like, yeah, me too. All right. So yeah, the power outage was an amazing thing that happened. As a network professional with government experience, and I actually worked at a disaster recovery facility for the government. That is, if a bomb hits Washington, D.C. and takes it out, continuity of government happens. There are different places around the country that pick up as the department that was bombed. I work for the Department of Education, and if it was bombed, really the country would be just fine, but actually we had a disaster recovery facility. I worked there as a network engineer for about 1.5 years. It was amazing. I learned a lot, and yeah, we lose everything in DC. There's replication throughout the country. So I knew that whatever happened with that power outage was impossible, that it had to be some kind of government operation. And boy, did I get rewarded, because yeah, that's exactly what happened. This is where that drop comes full circle, because that day, that night actually, Israel started to get hit with crazy wildfires. And you guys don't know anything about this, but I follow Israel, I follow the news worldwide like a dog, chasing a bone, looking for a bone. So I'm always looking at news, and I saw that the day after the power outage here in Spain, when we lost internet until the wee hours of the morning, like I think it came back up 3 o'clock in the morning or something like that. And but that day and night, and for the next 3 weeks, Israel suffered massive wildfires throughout the country for 3 weeks nonstop. And I knew that that was operational 100%, because Israel is not a place that has wildfires, and the way those wildfires were happening were not natural, definitely a government operation. So my whole heart and body says that Spain, where we're located, was a launching point for an operation to attack Israel. There's no other word for it. And to soften Israel up. And that there was a big plan that was happening. And it sure did unfold. It sure did unfold. So the reason for the power outage was so that all of the generators would run dry. And suddenly, for, I guess, 12 hours, no, not so long. Let's see, I'd say around 7 to 3, 5 hours, 5 or 6 hours, there was a whole other network that was brought up in Spain, that anybody that had access to the internet and was spying on Spain through the internet, right now we were a big black hole. We were a cyber big black hole. Yeah, I mean, we're just black. And whoever planned this knew Spain would be just fine. We would not panic. We're not a panicking country. America would have panicked. But we didn't panic. We just took it. Yeah, we were like, all right. You know, because a lot of us are still have memories of 50 years ago when Spain was a very poor country, an agrarian country, and it would not, if we had to turn back to being an agrarian country, we can do it. We have the knowledge and the terrain to do it. So yeah, we weren't very freaked. I wasn't. And then when I saw what was happening in Israel, I knew that Spain is the Iberian Peninsula is a perfect jump board for jumping off point for planes or things that are coming from America that need to get to Israel. And put in that black hole, Israel could not see anything of what was happening in Spain. And as the power came back up, there was also a new network that came up that was off of the regular internet. And that's how operations been going. And man, Israel's been handed it. So there was a whole bunch of wild things that were happening during the wildfire, and just different fires here, different things happening there. And then started the 12-day war with Iran. And that was brutal to Israel. I watched that absolutely closely every day. Any video, any information came out, and man, Iran kicked the shit